Four of my favorite Microsoft technologies are the Windows operating system, the Office suites, Visual Studio, and Microsoft Xbox. People often complain about Windows, but considering the operating system is used on around 90% of all computers worldwide, I think it must be doing something right. In particular, people gave Windows Vista a hard time when it was released, but I think that was unfair, because the previous version of Windows, which was Windows XP, it only used about 65 megabytes of RAM, but Vista uses closer to 1 gigabyte. So I believe many of the Vista haters were trying to use Vista on computers that had small amounts of RAM and then complaining about how slow it was. Well, if your system only has 1 gigabyte of RAM to begin with, then with Vista running, that only leaves you about 256 megabytes of free RAM. Compare that to running XP on that same machine and you still have almost a gig of free RAM. So really those people shouldn't have been comparing the two operating systems in such a manner, and technically probably shouldn't have been running Vista on those computers in the first place. Vista and now Windows 7 especially both have added much functionality, and now they both do automated troubleshooting, which can fix about half of the problems that happen to your computer automatically. That kind of goes along with Microsoft's sort of what I think of as their unofficial goal is everything that can be automated should be. Microsoft Office Suite is undoubtedly the best Office, one of the best Office type applications. Some people complain about the price, and there are some free or cheap open source Office suites, but why should somebody give you their work? I mean, somebody has worked on that and it's a product, so you should obviously have to pay for it. I've always liked Xbox better than PlayStation, and I used to always have to have a PlayStation just to play games like Final Fantasy or different role-playing games, but now with Xbox 360 it has all of those games, and there's really no reason to even have a PlayStation anymore. All I use mine for is watching Blu-ray movies. But what I really like about Microsoft is Visual Studio. It's by far the most amazing integrated development environment for anyone. Like everything Microsoft, there are many different versions available. However, unlike other Microsoft products, there are also several free versions called Express Editions. Visual Studio does much of the repetitive and mechanical programming for you, so you can spend more of your time on real development problem solving. When programming in other non-Microsoft languages, you spend tons of wasted time writing the same code over and over. If you compare it to building a car, programming in a non-Microsoft language would be like having to create the glass yourself every time before using it for the windshield and the windows, creating the rubber, the metal, everything from scratch. Using it with Microsoft, you would get the windows and get everything already pre-made for you. This goes along with how Microsoft understands the importance of development, speed, and efficiency. They try to do as much of the work for you as possible to maximize your efficiency. Visual Studio also integrates with SQL Server database like no other integrated development environment. It would take me hours to list all the features and reasons of why I love Visual Studio, so I'll just say thank you, Microsoft, for helping me to be the most productive developer I can be.